Hi, this is Mike from thesubstream.com. This is an episode of Watch This Instead for the week ending the 9th of July, 2010. We were super excited about a movie that was coming out today because it was a sequel, a real honest-to-goodness sequel, not a prequel, not a sidequel, not a spiritual sequel, and not a rebooting of one of our absolute favorite action movie franchises from the 80s. And it was made by people that have long resumes of making really good creature action effects movies. Of course, I'm talking about Predators, producer Robert Rodriguez and director Nimrod Antal's sequel to John McTiernan's 1987 Arnold Schwarzenegger starring classic Predator, and its sequel, the Maria Conchita Alonso-led Predators 2. The good news is we're still really excited about it because it's a really good movie. It's not great, it's not amazing, it's not as good as the original, which over time has come to be recognized as kind of a classic, but it's really good. And for creature-driven sci-fi action movies set on other planets, really good is incredible. Good is great. This has been a bad 10 years for this genre. It's got everything you'd want for the most part. The sense of dread that comes when a bunch of otherwise tough people are chased through the jungle by an implacable, unknowable alien master hunter space ninja. It's got tricks, turns, traps, explosions, gore, violence, decapitations. It's got twists, did I say that already? Turns, did I say that already? It has a bunch of cool, tough one-liners. It's fantastically well shot. The effects are good, and they even add in some new creative little bits like without being too obnoxious about it and without trampling on the reverence that a bunch of people like me have for the original Predators films and the mythology that got built up around them afterwards. But there's no Arnold. This film, Predators, and the films in the years since Arnold has stopped working really have served to just illustrate the extent to which action movies can be divided into three eras. The pre-Arnolds, aka the cute and goofies, the Arnold era from the early 80s to the mid-90s, 1994 about, when he was basically Ronald Reagan with a bazooka. And the post-Arnolds, the nows, the when are we going to get a new Arnold's, the send a bunch of guys to farms in Austria and look for another one, the disappointing era, the we miss you Arnold era. Because he was so weird, because he was so big and so foreign, he helped concretize the formula that guys like James Cameron used in 80s action films where you would have vulnerable people on the run from incredible alien forces, and then they would run for 2 hours and be scared until they decided enough is enough, and emerge from the steam like Ripley in the mech suit and say, get away from her, you bitch, and fight back and be triumphant and discover inner hidden reserves of strength that they didn't know they have. And it was just a really good action formula that got invented. Except Arnold didn't even need a mech suit to do it. He had his own mech suit. It was called his body. In Predator, after him and his crew spend a whole time running through the jungle, getting picked off one by one and being torn apart and exploded, there's a moment in the film when Arnold remembers, I'm Arnold. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. Why am I running? And he decides to sit down and make traps and put mud on himself. And there's suspense that comes from that. And it's not coming from the fear of what the bad guy is going to do to the hero. It's coming from the fear of what the hero is going to do to the bad guy, because the hero, Arnold, has woken up and remembered that he's Arnold. And he remembered that he had the unique ability in action films to kill everyone single-handedly. So Predators, while very good, while incredibly enjoyable, and very, very good, especially for a creature sci-fi action film set on another planet, is great. It just kind of serves as a reminder that we're now living in the post-Arnold era. So if you don't get to go see Predators this weekend, if you're heading up to the cabin, go rent Raw Deal. It's one of Arnold's lesser known, lesser remembered, because it's not as good, 80s action movies. But it does have the all-time greatest Arnold remembering that he is, in fact, Arnold scene, in which near the end of the film he spends 5 minutes organizing his guns on a bed in a suit bag and then puts them all in a LeBaron Chrysler convertible, kicks out the windshield, and then very slowly, very deliberately decides on the soundtrack that he is going to use while he's wasting a bunch of bad guys. And he puts a Rolling Stone tape like this. Beep, click. Into the tape player in the car, and then drives around a gravel pit with an M16 and a shotgun, just wasting dudes. So if you're not going to go see Predators this weekend, what you should at least spend some time in remembrance of the freak, the great Arnie, the Governor, come back, somebody. Do you have a cousin, Arnold? Anybody that you could recommend? Because things aren't the same without you, bud.